Hey folks, Guzmo Designs here. This is part 1 of the Academy 1/32 scale F-16 Viper build. So we're calling this one the Viper build instead of the Falcon build just because obviously we have two builds on the go with F-16s in them. One's Tamiya and one's Academy. But guaranteed we're going to be swapping parts between the two models and comparing them. But right off the bat, we're working with the intakes here on the Academy, and it's very different from the Tamiya kit. Now, the Tamiya kit only offers you the large mouth on their CJ model, but if you have the Thunderbirds model, they actually offer you the small mouth. However, the Thunderbirds model, I believe, is a Japanese exclusive, and it costs a pretty penny. So, if you want the small mouth model in Tamiya, it's going to cost you a lot. So, you might want to go the Academy route. However, the Academy model builds, I think, a little harder than the Tamiya. So that's what we're going to be talking about today. So obviously I chose the small mouth in my Academy model just because with my Tamiya model, I already did the big mouth because obviously the CJ model is the big mouth and that's the only option you have. So I'm not going to build another big mouth in the Academy just to make the models look different, because I think once this is all built, it's going to look very, very similar to in size anyway, and maybe in a lot of details to the Tamiya one. So my Academy Viper is starting out with the small mouth. So if you're not too sure what small mouth and big mouth is, basically big mouth is just a wider opening, obviously, especially right here, and then obviously in here. It's just for the engine types, right? So bigger engine, bigger mouth; smaller engine, smaller mouth. So again, because I did the CJ F-16 Falcon for Tamiya, it comes with a big mouth only. You're stuck with that. So I'm kind of building the opposite of what I built from Tamiya with the F-16 Viper. So from Academy, if that makes sense. So I chose the small mouth, obviously, and the instructions calls for, you build the interior, which is what we're looking at right here. You paint it white. And then you put the the outer shell, which is here, and then you plug it into here, which is that. Now I kind of have a problem with that. One, for painting and detailing, right, and then for fitting. As you can see, it's not glued. Well, these parts are glued, but like this part here is glued. It comes in 3 parts, okay? So ignore this part and this part. So this part, and this part are glued, okay? Now you have to be really careful, because when you glue those together, this part, and this part, you got to glue it to shape. And what I mean is you got to make sure it's going to hold its shape, just like that. And there's a lot of smoothing and sanding involved with this one. Unlike the Tamiya F-16, there's a lot of sanding and smoothing involved, and I'm going to show you that in a minute. Now, I think I'm going, well, I don't think, because I've already tried. Now, this isn't glued in place. I'm just doing pre-fitting. Now, if you remember that, if you go back to my Tamiya F-16 Falcon build, this fits in like a dream. With this one, it's a little bit trickier. So I'm actually going to be painting, because this isn't glued into place yet. I'm actually going to paint this first, probably, and then set it in. And then the idea is to take this. Now these two pieces aren't glued together yet. I'm waiting. Then I'm going to slip this in after. Now I've already done it. It works. I'm going to push that through after, because this calls for putting this together and then building this around it and then putting it into place. I don't agree. Now the reason why I don't agree is because you got to do so much sanding all around there. Now see the seam lines and stuff? It kind of looks silly right now, but I guarantee you once I put some primer and paint over top of that, all those seam lines are going to be erased. Now, I'm going to take this out. Now, again, it looks like it's jammed in there. It's not going to go through. I've already tried and tested it. It will go through. I think that's the best way to build this. Now, I'm going to pop this out, because I've already test fitted this. Okay. Now the reason why I test fitted this first is because I think that's the only way you're going to be able to get glue right there and there, and then let it sit and dry. Then you're able to get this through. Because if you already have this in place and then go to seat this in, how are you going to get glue to get all that situated? Right? Especially for, you know, those edges. Because this is such a temperamental piece. It's not like the Tamiya kit. So I'm going to pop this out. See what I mean? So if you have all this inside here already, it's almost impossible in a way to get a nice snug fit with glue, with this thing in the way already. Right? So, and there's your lines, right? So I did a lot of gluing. It's really, you know, it's sturdy in there now. It's a lot of sanding. See the glimmer and stuff like that? Like I said, this is nice and smooth now. I can't feel the seam line. And once I get primer and paint, that's what I mean. I think it's best to paint this first, then paint this, attach it in, maybe get rid of that seam line depending on how well the glue goes, right? And then once I'm happy with how this is sitting, then shove this through. Don't forget that middle bar in the middle. Then shove this through. And then we'll put this end piece on. And then we can continue on. It can be done. Now obviously you got to be careful when you're shoving this through. You want to be nice and steady. And that's why you need lots of glue on the inside, because you don't want to pop these in, you know, it's a lot of, might be a lot of pressure. You don't want to pop these, you know, this out. But I've already shoved the white intake piece in so many times. I've already pushed this through like so many times. I can do it one-handed just to prove, see? Just to prove that it can be done. Nothing's popping. See? Everything's happy. Also too, doing it this way, you're able to spray the outside of your model with whatever color you're deciding, you know, to paint it, without having to mask off your landing gear area, because that's where all your detail is. See? You're able to paint that without having to mask that and losing all your nice white detail. So that's the next step, and that's, I think, the easiest way to detail this area. So it's going to build obviously a lot differently than your Tamiya F-16. And this is where I think some people had some trouble when building their Academy F-16. You know, they seen this little area, because this here, building this piece in 3 pieces, you know, it is tricky, especially trying to get, you know, your perfect, you know, edges. As you can see, I used a lot of glue. Now, obviously, I'm not building the wide mouth, so I don't know if the wide mouth builds, you know, the same. You know, this piece right here. You know, I'm not going to attempt it, right? Because I've already built the wide mouth F-16 for Tamiya, as I said. So I want this model to look a lot different. Now, another question. Do I build the have glass paint? Right? That new paint scheme. Or do I stick, you know, with the classic look? That's another thing. Do I attempt that new paint look? I could. So I'll put that out there to you guys too. So there we go. That's part 1. It ran a little long than I thought, but very important step. Like I said, this one here you got to take your time with, right? Because this is a little tricky. But I think I found a way to do your intakes. So let me know what you think in the comment section, and we'll go from there. So thanks so much, guys, for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye.